Let's go. Good evening, fans of Heartland Championship Wrestling. My name is Dave Little, and we are recording from the Dave Cave with this week's episode of the Heartland Highlight Reel. The date today is February the 12th, 2026, as we recap action from Heartland Championship Wrestling and all around the Filsinger Games Universe. We have a lot to get to tonight. It is going to be lots of fun. So let's get started. Here in the Heartland this past Saturday night, it was the Hype Show, the Heartland YouTube production event. Heartland Havoc 132, You Can't Touch This. And what a wild night it was. Both world championships were defended successfully as Buddy Rogers took the measure of Ken Patera, and the Midnight Express defended against the Mongols. So no world titles changed hands, but we did have two very significant title changes. The Atlantic Wrestling Championship, the Atlantic Heavyweight Championship, formerly held by Paul Mr. Wonderful Orndorff, changed hands in a dramatic upset as Eric Young took the measure of Paul Orndorff to win the Atlantic Heavyweight Championship, much to the surprise of fans all around the Heartland. Also from Pro Wrestling Mid-America, the Tag Team Championships were lost by the Whatever We Want team of Stan Hansen and Ole Anderson to the very capable duo of Nick Bockwinkel and Ray the Crippler Stevens. So Bockwinkel and Stevens, your new Heartland Pro Wrestling Mid-America Heavyweight Tag Team Champions. And of course, the most memorable event possibly at You Can't Touch This was the dog collar match. Angelo Mosca quickly rising among the ranks of the most hated men in the Heartland. It was Mosca wrapping the dog collar around the neck of Bobo Brazil and putting Bobo to sleep right there in Atlanta, Georgia, much to the chagrin of the crowd in the Omni. So yeah, lots of big news coming out of Heartland Havoc 132 this past Saturday night. Updates from around the Filsinger Games Universe. Velvet Wrestling, always entertaining, always busy, always a lot going on. One of the things you may recall from the Saturday night show in the Heartland, at the Omni Auditorium in the audience, there was an altercation between two of the top ladies contenders in Velvet Wrestling as Barbie Hayden got into it with Brandy Alexander, both women escorted out of the Omni after brawling around the arena. Also this week in Velvet Wrestling, new champions crowned. Steve Kern is your new Memorial Champion. Barry O'Boy Allen takes the Intercontinental Championship. And a new Universal Heavyweight Champion is crowned in Velvet. Kid Lycos taking that title in dramatic fashion. So always a good time happening in Velvet Wrestling. This would also be a good time to call out the new title that is being established in the Filsinger Games Universe, the Butcher Interpromotional Championship. The first entrants in the tournaments have been announced. Representing Velvet Wrestling, Larry Zbyszko and Shotzi Blackheart. And from the Great White North, Jeff Stafford weighed in this week, entering the one and only Hot Rod, Rowdy Roddy Piper, into contention for the Butcher Interpromotional Championship. Heartland, of course, will be represented by one of the men and one of the women. Those wrestlers are to be announced. And there are still plenty of openings for anybody else that wants to get in on the tournament. Any promoter may enter a card into the tournament Matches will be run around the various promotions throughout the Filsinger Games Universe, with title matches available to any promoter who wants one. The only limitation is that it is official, Filsinger released cards only. No bootlegs, no Champions of the Galaxy cards, no imaginary cards, just to keep it consistent and fair across all of the promotions. Official Filsinger released cards only for the Butcher Interpromotional Championship Tournament. So if you want to get in on it, drop a comment here in this YouTube video, and we will get you added to the brackets. More excitement from around the Filsinger Games Universe. Frank Wainscott coming strong this week with all kinds of action in his Impact Pro Wrestling territory. The big event taking place tonight, IPW Explosion. With the IPW World Championship on the line, the champion Kurt Angle defending against the phenomenal one AJ Styles. Also tonight, the IPW Television Championship on the line, Arn Anderson defending against the Patriot. And this coming Saturday night, the United States Heavyweight Championship will be decided in IPW as Magnum TA defends against his longtime rival, Tully Blanchard. What a feud that was all through the 1980s. So IPW, Frank Wainscott, thank you for weighing in with your shows for the coming week. And Frank, if you want to get some folks involved in the Interpromotional Butcher Tournament, please say the word. And finally, coming up this month in the Heartland, we just finished up our pay-per-view this past week. And just before we went to air tonight, the Heartland Top 10 lists were published on the Filsinger Games message board. So check those out. We don't have the calendar of events for February set yet in the Heartland. We'll have that this weekend. But the big storylines coming into February. The World Heavyweight Championship will be defended once again. Buddy Rogers will defend his World Championship against Kevin Steen. Kevin Steen, we saw him with a big win at You Can't Touch This when he defeated Pat Patterson to regain the number one contender's position for the NWA World Championship. And he is coming after Buddy Rogers. And that match ought to be outstanding. Also this month in the Heartland, Jordan Grace continues her pursuit of her previously held Heartland Ladies Championship. She's got to go through Nicole Matthews in order to get her shot at the current champion Portia Perez in the steel cage. Jordan Grace has been demanding a steel cage match because it seems like every time she gets in the ring with Portia, Nicole Matthews is getting involved and shenanigans are afoot. And Jordan Grace wants to put a stop to that. Heartland Ladies Commissioner Cheerleader Melissa made the offer. If Jordan can defeat Nicole Matthews, she will get the steel cage match that she wants for the Heartland Ladies Championship in February. And finally, in February, it is going to be a crucial month for one Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart, the leader of Whatever We Want, longtime powerhouse faction in Texas, in Pro Wrestling Mid-America. And that faction has been crumbling. Already Barry Windham actually left Whatever We Want and moved up to Patriot Championship Wrestling and joined forces with Ted DiBiase and his Golden Dynasty. More recently, we have seen disgruntlement from Arn Anderson and Terry Funk, parts of that faction. And this past Saturday night, we saw Hart's tag team of Stan Hansen and Ole Anderson lose the Pro Wrestling Mid-America Tag Team Championship on that supercard. The only gold that remains in Jimmy Hart's stable is the PWMA Heavyweight Champion Jackie Fargo. Fargo, of course, successful in his title defense at You Can't Touch This, scoring a controversial victory over Dan Severn with use of knitting needles. Knitting needles came into play in that match. Jackie Fargo catapulting himself to now his status as the most hated man in the Heartland after his shenanigans this past Saturday night. All right, so that is what February holds in store for Heartland Championship Wrestling. And for the Filsinger Games Universe Butcher Interpromotional Tournament coming up. Action from IPW, from Velvet Wrestling, Great White North Wrestling, all kinds of federations in action. And if you want your federation featured on the Heartland highlight reel, you can find me on the Filsinger Games message board. You can find me on Facebook. Just let me know what you would like to have presented here on the highlight reel, and we will get your federation teed up with the best of the best. All right, that's our stream for tonight. Thank you all for tuning in, and I am out of here.